What a weekend of rugby. Cheers.
Yeah, it was like a quarterfinals weekend basically of the Rugby World Cup. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, it was amazing to watch.
Yeah, North versus South.
Yeah, didn't watch much of Argentina, Italy.
No.
I'm happy for Argentina that they
pulled that one off.
And I think it should have been a good game. But it started off with Scotland.
Scotland and the Springboks.
Much was made before the game.
Yeah.
Scotland's had a good run of late.
Yeah, they had a pretty decent Six Nations.
Yeah, they beat England, France twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, England at Twickenham.
Scotland had the best defence in the Six Nations.
Yes, yeah.
So I was very happy that we were able to, score two tries against them.
Yeah.
But you could see that their defence is very good.
Yeah.
Like the first 15 minutes, we camped in their 22 and we couldn't break through.
Yeah. Yeah, it was strange. It's almost become a pattern in our matches, the Springboks matches, that we spend a lot of time in the opponent's 22 and we struggle to convert those into points. There were certain times when I could see a clear angle of the offside line, and normally you can see when there's a couple of bodies in front of that clear line. It was a bit frustrating. I thought there were a few offsides.
They seemed a bit offsides
that were missed. Once or twice it was when Angus Gardner had his back to the players, and then you always wonder do the TMOs do it? Do they say clear offside or something like that?
The assistant
refs or someone, but that's human error. In the end, it didn't have a huge impact on the game.
If you can get away with it, then why not do it?
Yeah.
And it was effective.
No, it was, and they looked good for it in the beginning. And first half score was
10-8.
10-8 to Scotland.
I was concerned.
Me too, yeah, because our teams tend to get despondent when maybe not the Springboks, our provincial teams. The Springboks actually probably don't.
Yeah.
They keep fighting till the last minute, but you can lose a bit of faith as a game carries on. But it went well. There were a few key moments that I wanted to highlight. One thing that is becoming increasingly frustrating, and Marcus Smith also did it, is when there is an advantage, you stop going through the phases.
Just kick it away.
And the kick that Elton Jantjies kicked when we had a good penalty advantage, literally 7 meters out, straight down the middle, an easy take for the Scottish.
Yeah.
It was the nearest Springbok player when the ball was caught was like 5-8 meters away.
Yeah.
So I thought that was something that we need to look at, and it's something that we need to work on.
Unless they're coached to do it like that.
Yeah, maybe if you're sure that you want to kick for poles, but if you do
they weren't kicking for poles, exactly. So he would kick the ball away and then we kick for the sideline.
If you're looking to score a try,
and
you go to a set phase to score a try, obviously open play should still be the better way to score a try, because you're pulling in defenders all the time and you're opening up space on the outside. But with our maul, that is one of our most common ways to score. So but it didn't work.
Well, that's one thing that didn't actually work that well yesterday.
It didn't work in the first half.
They counted our maul very well.
Yeah, and then I also noticed that Herschel struggled a little bit with his kicking game. He's got very good other qualities, X factor, breaking the line and so forth, but he also needs to work a bit harder at his up and unders.
Yeah, the technical stuff.
The little bit more of technical stuff.
There was I watched this in-depth video about how we play, etc. And that person specifically said that Herschel is kicking outside of that 15-meter radius that we are actually aiming for.
Yes.
So they're becoming uncontestable, actually. Kicks.
Yeah, and when you have clear front foot ball and you're kicking up and under.
Yeah.
When a quick ball, when you're already on the front foot and you kick, it sort of doesn't seem like the right time to kick.
Yeah.
To me, but like you say, with game plan stuff, you don't always know. I mean, if you kick a flat kick then and you've got guys coming through and they're chasing and there's not much cover at the back, that I understand.
Yeah.
But an up and under, a contestable kick when you've gotten over the advantage line already doesn't make that much sense to me.
Yeah, maybe it's just he's not reading the game.
Yeah, because you have to read in the moment, and that's where Faf de Klerk, the value of him is so amazing, is that he knows, it seems like most of the time he makes the right decisions
Yeah.
when it comes to those crucial kicks and plays.
Because our game revolves around momentum.
Yes.
Like I think Faf does, as frustrating as it is, the amount of kicks he makes, he does read, okay, we are losing momentum, let's kick.
Yes.
Whereas if we're like moving forward, if we've got go forward ball, then he does pass the ball.
Yeah. What we didn't see last week was when there was a little bit of space and line breaks, the passes didn't go. And this time there was a great pass with very little space to Mapimpi.
Yeah.
And he scored a great try.
And just holding the ball for that split second to draw that player.
Yes.
Which I thought Polisi did very well.
Yeah. He gave the first pass was his assist. Yeah. Where he didn't pass last week. So it must have been something that they worked on.
Yeah.
During the week.
Because those opportunities were created last weekend.
Yes.
So they just weren't taken.
Yeah, I think it should have been a more comfortable game against Wales last week.
Yeah.
But it looked better this week.
So at least we see that they're improving on that stuff.
Yeah, and then what we want to see more by Elton and by Pollard is when the margins become very small is to make those crucial conversions.
Yeah.
Because the first conversion was a very wayward kick by Elton Yankees for the second week in a row. And with the England game coming up, you want to be kicking those.
Yeah. Especially because of the nature of our game.
Yes.
We need our kicker to be amazing.
Yeah, because we don't necessarily win by 20, 30 points.
So every point is, that's how we're going to be scoring.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're the All Blacks, you rely on your tries and that sort of thing, so they can miss a few conversions here and there.
Yes. No, definitely. And then there was a moment, Willie Leroux, my comment that I typed about it was like what seemed like he fell asleep on the field a little bit.
Yeah.
When
he just picked the ball up.
He picked the ball up and then he sort of was in two minds.
Whether to pass, he didn't see the guy behind him.
Yeah, he was waiting, and then it looked like he was going to kick from the base of the ruck. I mean, he's a fullback. It's something that he's probably never practiced. And he got caught with the ball in possession. And it was a knock-on, and that eventually led to the Scottish try.
His confidence is way down.
Yeah.
It's like nothing he does now is working out.
And
although he did give a good pass that led to the second try.
Yes,
that long pass.
He'll always do those sorts of things, but I don't know the pros and cons at the moment where he is, and your timing of your retirement is a crucial thing as well. You want a player not to be dropped and to say, listen, okay, I think maybe it's time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm leaning towards thinking maybe Willie, a great servant of the game. I mentioned to our group of guys together that I think he's probably been our most creative fullback.
Yeah.
We've had brilliant fullbacks in Andre Hubert, extremely solid guys, but he's the best. He was the best at creating play that we've ever had.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So.
Yeah, but like, why not put him on the bench as an impact player, as the utility back? He can play fly half. He's like Frans Steyn.
Yes.
He can play fly half. He can play wing. He can play full back.
He can do all those positions.
So maybe depending on Frans Steyn's plans, maybe you look at using Willie in Frans Steyn's role if Frans Steyn decides to retire before the World Cup.
Yeah. No, they can definitely look at that. Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Luckily, we don't have to make that very difficult decision.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, that led to a Scottish try, which you had to really keep a good eye on, because the ball was sort of being slapped around a little bit backwards by Herschel Yankees. There were quite a few short passes. One of them I thought was possibly forward, and I was surprised that they didn't have a look at that. They had a look at it with a camera angle where you couldn't see if it was forward. And then they just carried on and they awarded the try.
Yeah.
And those are the sort of things that we would like to, and we can use that as an example, because in the match just after that, which we are going to get to, there was a pass to Akira Ioane, which they looked at a couple of times and then decided that it was forward, and they found an angle at which they could see that it was forward, even though there was sort of a body in the way, and this pass was literally looked at once.
Yeah.
And they said it wasn't forward. Yeah. And to me, at first glance, it looked forward.
I was more angry about how we got there.
Yes.
I was angry that
it came from mistakes.
It came from a mistake, and then we didn't push them out. You know, they were up against the touchline. No one must score from there.
Yeah.
And then we sort of just fumbled the whole passage.
Yeah, it was a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've also mentioned that with our defensive game, at times it makes the opposition look like fools. But every now and then it makes us look like fools.
Yeah,
as well.
For instance, their second try. We just came completely in.
Yeah.
But there again, I don't really understand, like Willie Leroux. So he had to he came in, right?
Yes.
On Duan van der Merwe.
And then someone else has to go. That's how I understand the planning behind the defense.
Yeah.
When a outside back does that, then someone else has to go around and cover.
Yeah. But that man was covered. Yes. The guy he came in to tackle.
It was two guys on one guy.
At best for Willie, he should have been doing his utmost to intercept that pass.
Yes.
Should have been his role.
Yeah.
But he sort of just, and then the pass got away and
I think it's it's very technical way to defend. So maybe sometimes you lose it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it makes you look silly. Take nothing away from Scotland. It was a very good try.
Good try.
They built through the phases. It was a good finish.
Yeah.
It was very quick hands, good passing. And at moments you could see why they on the up.
Yeah.
And why they look very good.
Yeah, Hogg scored 2 tries there.
Yeah. No, there were some very good moments for them. I think Angus Gardner had a good game, but there was a moment where I thought he was trying to be a little bit too objective when he penalised Ibn Itzebet, where we thought his hands were never actually on the grass.
Yeah.
Maybe his fingers scraped the grass, but you can't blow for that.
But we said earlier, so he was obviously trying to be consistent with the penalty against Scotland.
Yes.
I think it was against their number 7, I think.
Yes, against the flanker. The guy with the headband, Gray.
Yeah, Gray.
Yeah.
The thing about that was they didn't show us the replay, so I had no reference to see, because maybe he did something similar.
Yeah,
maybe it was very similar.
The directors are also clever in what they show and what they don't show.
Yeah.
I suppose we do the same thing.
We probably do the same thing
when they come over here, but in the end it didn't matter. You can see he was really trying to not be biased towards anyone, which I respect.
He let it flow.
And the second half was a lot better. Maybe one of the assistants told him, listen, this and that. And then the second half, I thought he did very, very well to marshal the game. And then the same with the Koch roll-away, which I thought we should just mention.
It didn't really
There was an impossible for him to roll away any faster than that.
Yeah, but not just that. Yeah. So very often they're like, well, it doesn't matter.
On the wrong side.
You're just on the wrong side. But was he impeding anyone from getting to the ruck, from cleaning up the guy?
The scrum half was able to go to the ball immediately and pass it as quickly as he can. It had no impact.
But anyway, it had no impact because he missed the kick anyway.
Yeah, missed the kick in anyway. Those things tend to happen. You can
imagine we were like, justice.
Yeah. And then very interesting, and I'm not going to steal this as a comment of my own. It was the halftime guys who said that our passes on the attack in the opponent's 22 are too long.
Yeah.
And it gives the defense time to meet the guy ball and all.
Yeah.
It should be shorter passes. You've got a bigger chance of getting over the advantage line.
Yeah.
And when we brought the bomb squad on, that seemed to work better. There were more passes and more variation of passes closer to the ruck and passes further away from the ruck, which helped us to get over the advantage line better and get more go forward ball.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it was Victor Matfield who said it. It's
so,
interesting when they do that sort of analysis.
Yeah, I wonder what the plan is there. Are we just trying to go too wide too fast, or what are we doing? Are we trying to put some width on the ball?
I think it's a bit of a loss of patience, because you normally score your tries. You draw in the defense and then you score your tries on the outside.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't go wide too fast.
Yeah.
But that also comes to scrum halves who just, like a Farida Preer, who just with like seconds to think about it, and he just normally made the right pass.
But he had the runners that were running next to him, so maybe that was a tactic that they had.
Yeah. But in the end, it worked out well. Great second try.
Yeah.
It wasn't an easy take by my.
Was there a knock on by Jesse though?
Yes, I've got to be honest with you. At that exact moment, I was sort of.
So what happened is we kicked an up and under.
Yeah.
Jesse Creel chased, and he went up for the ball. And what it looked like was that he sort of knocked the ball it looked like he knocked the ball backwards into Duan van der Merwe, and then it bounced back off.
Yeah.
As in, it bounced backwards from Jesse towards our try line, and then it bounced off Duan towards their try line.
Yeah.
That's
and
what
again,
it looked like.
they didn't look at it for very long, because I missed it, because I think I just got up to do something and I missed it.
Yeah.
I missed the replay.
Yeah. There wasn't a proper replay.
No.
There was one angle they showed, and
Gardner said he's happy with it.
You didn't really look at it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was.
So if there are two Scottish guys sitting now, they might be saying, "Listen, that shouldn't have been a try."
Yeah. I'm not saying that it's just the ball did bob around for a second there, and I thought, why aren't they looking at that?
Yeah.
I was happy. I mean,
no, we were just so happy to get the try. And the bomb squad really contested well on the ground. We stole a few balls, a few crucial
Marks,
balls.
Kitsoff.
Yeah. Which gives you something else as well. Trevor's also good at it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Ox steal many balls.
Ox is more of a ball carrier, I think.
Yeah, but Kitsoff and Marks extremely good at stealing the ball on the ground, and a few crucial steals.
Yeah.
And yes, I mean, those 6 guys,
they're legends.
It's unbelievable.
Actually, I was thinking about Paul Pierre Skuman.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's not like they're so much heavier or anything than other players.
No, because you see the pack.
It's just technical stuff.
We're actually 20 kilograms
we
lighter.
were lighter than them. Yeah.
It's just excellent scrumming. What I wanted to say about Pierre Skuman is I feel like we blew him out of the game completely.
Yeah. No, he wasn't.
He wasn't a factor at all.
He didn't have an impact.
Yeah.
1 or 2 good carries, 1 or 2 good tackles. He was charged up.
Yeah.
But he didn't have the backing from the rest of his forwards.
Yeah.
In that. Yeah, and then scrum domination again in this game. I thought Reinach was good when he came on.
Yeah.
He did quite a few good
crisp
things. Yeah, and better kicking. Always busy around the rucks. Snipes. He always tries his luck a few times, and he gains a few meters at the same time.
He's got pace.
And then already mentioned at the end of the game, the rush defence.
Where we was like, there were some phases where Scotland had the ball, and they'd start with the ball on the halfway line, and would end up deep within their 22.
Yeah, and they were just like, they saw it coming so fast that they just had to get rid of the ball, and then eventually they threw it out of the field of play, or they lost it, or there was a knock on.
It reminded me of the EA Sports rugby games, where you're playing against the computer, and that's what you do. You just you change the player to the player that's in front of the guy with the ball, and you just charge that guy. Yeah. And you tackle, and eventually they basically have to
cough it up or pass it forward or dot it down. Yeah. Okay, so and that basically at the end of the game was very good rush defence. Ended 30-15.
Yeah. It was just the slow poison that we're getting used to at the moment.
Yeah, for our game plan, our way of playing, this was one of the better ones that I've seen.
Yeah.
The bench was awesome when they came on. Kulisi and Itzebet were huge again in the sort of loose, bit more ball carrying forwards.
Yeah.
And Frans Steyn, when he came on, just as good as he was.
Great penalty kick. Did all the right stuff. Pollard was good when he came on. So I thought it was one of our better performances. I'm tired of winning games by 3-4 points. Yeah, it was nice to just
to
relax.
Just be able to
end.
relax a little bit at the end of the game.
Yeah, I'd like to. I think Yankees played well. You spoke about Pollard just now.
Yeah,
I was happy with Yankees.
No, Yankees played well. I think he should do a bit more of the basics and try and do little bit less of the flash. But that's also why he's there. They put him in when they feel that there's going to be a dry field, and you want to play a bit more expansive. So that's what he's supposed to do. But then you've got to make those cross kicks. You look silly if you kick it out.
Yeah.
Or you look silly if a guy marks it.
Yeah.
But in general, very good.
Yeah. I specifically say that because I feel like Pollard's a little bit off form.
He is actually a little bit off form. Yeah.
So I think that Elton filled that gap nicely.
I'll start Pollard next week, definitely. But he didn't look too bad. And then we got straight into New Zealand Ireland.
That was an amazing game.
An amazing game of rugby.
Don't you think that the Aviva Stadium has become such like a melting pot, or whatever you want to call it, like a cauldron of extreme, passionate fans? No,
they were.
And it's like, because we're now in this United Rugby Championship, you're starting to get used to this like manic like hardcore Irish passion. You know?
No, the anthem and everything, you just knew that these guys are up for it. They are ready.
Yeah.
The haka had less of an impact because they started
were singing. It was just. It reminded me of Ellis Park.
Yeah. And they drowned out. Sorry, motorbike.
When it's like at Ellis Park as well. We like our fans sing "Ole Ole Ole" or whatever.
Yeah.
They also.
No, they were charged up.
They were ready for them.
The tempo that they played at was just unbelievable.
The attack is so varied.
Yeah.
Ireland's.
Yes.
It's like
running
so
lines
impressive.
and guys that I've never heard of. Doris, who scored the try.
Yeah.
Just a great running line, headed at pace. They missed that one tackle and it just opened up completely in front of them.
You don't see that. Yeah.
You don't see that against New Zealand.
Yeah.
The tempo they were able to maintain as a neutral, that was an extremely entertaining game to watch.
It was amazing, and like just the ferocity of the Irish pack.
Yes,
they're ferocious. They're like they're just all over them.
The defense, the way New Zealand had to defend to keep them out.
Yeah,
I mean,
New Zealand actually did well.
Yeah, Ethan Blackadder, there were some hits there. And a few of them I thought, yes, that looked high. Or it just looked so rough that something had to be wrong with it. It was just hardcore defense. Really an amazing rugby match.
Yeah.
And then New Zealand just scored out of nothing. I mean, Will Jordan, just one or two clever passes and they just score. And you think the game's never over.
Yeah. But they weren't disheartened, the Irish.
No.
Like I thought at halftime when it was still 10-5, I thought maybe the Irish, they haven't been the best, over the last, let's say, 3 years.
Yeah.
I thought that maybe they would just fall away, but they just kept at it.
Sexton's calm.
Yeah. And he was taking off the ball lots. Eh?
Yeah. Yeah. He got upset.
He didn't get flustered though.
No.
He got upset, but he wasn't. He didn't let it affect his game.
Yeah. Carberry also very good, crucial penalty to get the 9-point gap in the end,
which they didn't do in 2013.
Yeah.
In 2013, you remember they had the chance to take it to 8 points.
Yeah.
And Sexton actually missed that kick.
Yes.
And the All Blacks came back and scored a try and won the game.
No, you can't be 6 points ahead against the All Blacks.
You have to be properly ahead.
Make sure you're safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said Sexton is a proper general of the game.
Yeah.
And the halftime score was 10-5. If you're behind. Ireland was leading. Were they behind 10-5?
Yeah, they're behind.
Behind 10. If you're behind against the All Blacks and you win the game, it's very, very good. So Sexton, Marshall.
You say that because that's what happened like 4 weeks ago when we played them.
Yeah. It was unbelievable to see how they could maintain. I was waiting for them to start falling off a few tackles.
Yeah.
The energy they had, but it's the same in the Rugby Championship. The Leinster and Munster, they are able to play that fast game with extremely accurate passes. There's a bird making a noise for the whole 80 minutes.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable to see, and you have to give it to them.
It's actually, it's like I'm terrified yet strangely aroused or whatever. It's like it's a bit scary to see what's happening. Like, because we see them now. We're in the United Rugby Championship.
Yeah.
We see Leinster and Munster and Ulster.
Especially Leinster. Yeah.
They are so hectic when you play them, and just seeing that.
It's relentless.
Seeing that now in the national team
against
the All Blacks, I don't think it was a fluke. It's the same kind of ness that
they were
brought.
just outplayed.
Yeah.
They were just outplayed by the better team, and they were just able. I don't want to say it's the same as the All Blacks, same style of play, because it's less loose. It's not as loose.
No, it's not loose at all.
It's more accurate.
Like there are a lot of set moves that are very well executed.
Like specifically planned inside passes and a planned running line and that sort of thing.
It's good coaching.
Yeah, brilliantly drilled team. Yeah.
I saw Mike Catt is on their coaching staff now. I saw there in the box. I just saw it.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, no. And then obviously a great moment with the legend of the Irish game, Peter O'Mahony, who made the steal at the end, which led to the penalty. That was in the 72nd minute.
Yeah.
And then with a Carberry penalty, and then they just had to hold on to the ball, basically.
Must say something about James Lowe.
Yes, no,
he was
brought
so
the game.
pumped up, eh?
Yes. No, he played an extremely good game.
Just like Rathbone-like.
Yes.
How he wanted to show his former countryman.
Yeah, and you always think like that's the typical case of a guy who probably would have never played for the All Blacks. He just wouldn't have been there, and he was actually probably the best winger on the field on the day.
Yeah.
Will Jordan, but his work rate was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, his tackle led to that turnover.
Yeah.
On Havili.
Yes, when he caught the ball, I don't think it led to a try in the end. He caught the ball they kicked a bad kick, and he caught the ball on the sideline and just sprinted down, and he made like he was just 5 meters from the try line. And then they built 5 phases, and I actually think that led to the disallowed try for the crawl, which was scored by Furlong.
That was a tough goal though.
Yeah, you could see it on the replay.
He did, but it's just...
The commentator said afterwards that if that happened in open play and it didn't lead to a try, nothing would have happened. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that makes you think about these decisions sometimes. Because anything that leads up to a try gets analysed so much. It's almost after every try they're like, is there any reason why it could not be a try? Yeah. And then it was England-Australia, which was the least eventful game of the weekend. Yeah. But England's got a lot of young players, a lot of guys that I've never heard of.
That fullback.
Yeah, fullback was very good.
He scored a great try.
Yeah, and they were never really in danger. Error-ridden, a few silly things here and there, but better team on the day. Yeah.
I think, and unfortunately, for Australia, the Australians have this idea that they're they're resurgent.
Yeah.
I don't think they are.
No.
They got lucky against us.
Yeah.
They played very well against us.
Yes.
I don't want to say they got lucky. They played very, very well against us to beat us. But they lost to Scotland.
Yeah.
Did they score a try against Scotland? I think they scored 1 try.
Yeah.
They didn't score any tries last night. Their whole game is like this running rugby, this attractive style.
I think their biggest issue is a serious lack of depth. A small pool of rugby players. It's like the
Quade Cooper's
5th or 6th most popular sport. Without Korobiti, Karevi, Quade Cooper, Matt Phillip, a few other guys, they're just lacking.
Yeah.
They can't bring in. They can't make 7-8 changes and play at the same level.
Yeah.
So I don't think they should be doom and gloom about it.
Yeah. I mean, can you really win at Twickenham against England if you play 20 minutes with 14 men?
Yeah. It's still a close game.
It's hard.
22-15 isn't a runaway.
Well, it ended at 32.
30 where they scored that late try.
Late try.
Yeah, it was close for most of the game.
It could have been like 25, 15.
Yeah, and they got a bit of a ran away with the game.
Scored some tries.
Good for England.
Yeah.
It's going to be the game next week. It's going to be
huge. It's the finale.
Yeah.
Like it's for us. I mean, if we lose this game, everyone's going to look back at the season and be a little bit indifferent, even though we beat the Lions. And
we'll probably lose the number 1 ranking, and we can end the year at number 1.
Yeah.
Which obviously happened in 2019, but it's for us to have it. Over a 3-year period to end the year twice as world number 1 is a bit of a blow to the All Blacks. So we'd like to do that.
It'll be interesting to see certain matchups, like the Rugby World Cup final was played without Kyle Sinclair because of his injury. He's back now. What kind of impact can he make? Itoje is playing at home. Itoje is.
Underhill was very good.
He was very. He's back.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say about Itoje is that we spoke about him earlier on in the season about how he's like their golden boy or whatever.
Yes.
But we haven't really seen it. Now, is he going to be pumped up? He's at home at Twickenham. Is he going to be pumped up to play against the Springboks and show us?
He will definitely be.
So we can see, what everyone talks about.
They can't afford. Neither teams can afford any complacency.
Yep.
In this game, and both teams won, so both teams are going to be on a high.
Yeah.
I think we're probably going to be a little bit more tired. We're really going to have to leave everything on the field.
I think we will, though. It's like unless it's England or New Zealand, we don't really pitch up to really show what we can do. But I think because it's England, and it's at Twickenham, we're going to really want to show
what we can
our potential there. Yeah.
Can't wait for the game.
I can't wait.
Did we say everything that needs to be said?
What else is there to say?
Yeah.
I can't wait for New Zealand, France.
Yeah, that's
next
same
weekend.
too. Yeah,
That's going to be if
it's
they
like the
lose.
bogey team, New Zealand's bogey team.
Yeah, if they lose that game, they're going to be in sack and ash.
Disastrous year for them.
Yeah.
Well, disastrous end of the year, you could say. Yeah.
So
Okay.
go Booker.
Cheers. Can't wait for a great weekend of rugby, and great one that's passed.